Every time you hit play on a new album or stream a song your friend recommended,
Yeah.
someone, somewhere, has already formed this really professional, detailed opinion on it.
And that's who we're talking about today, music critics, the professional opinion givers.
So what's our mission here? To break down what they actually do.
Exactly. We want to figure out not just what they listen for, but why their judgment still matters when, pretty much everyone is a reviewer now.
Right. Everyone's got a phone.
But the critic's main job is still to help you decide what's worth your time or your money.
Okay, so if they're helping us sort through the thousands of new songs that drop every week, where did this job even come from? It wasn't always a thing, was it?
No, not for popular music. For a long time, serious criticism was mostly for classical music, composers, performances.
Got it.
The big shift really started when newspapers and magazines began treating genres like jazz and then rock and roll as, well, serious art forms.
So what were those early critics even focused on? I'm guessing they weren't writing these deep essays about society right away.
Not at all. The early focus was very technical. A lot of these writers were actually musicians themselves.
Ah, that makes sense.
So they were concentrating on, the skill of the players, the dexterity, the song structure, and even just the quality of the recording.
But then the 1960s happened, and that just changed everything, didn't it?
It was a massive shift, a seismic shift, really.
The criticism became less about the technical stuff and more about what?
The culture. It became about the social and cultural impact the music was having on young people. The writing got way more subjective, sometimes even chaotic.
And that's when we start getting these long analytical essays.
Exactly. Journalists started digging into lyrics, searching for hidden meanings. Publications like Rolling Stone became hugely influential.
They were kind of the gatekeepers of what was cool.
They really were. They helped define which albums became important for a whole generation. And even though the job is mostly online now, that foundation is still there.
What, that balance between your own opinion and some kind of objective analysis?
That's the one. It's a tricky balance to get right.
Okay, let's unpack that toolkit then. Because when I review a song, I'm just like, this beat is great. But a professional has a whole checklist.
They do, and it starts with the production style.
You mean like, is the sound really polished and clean, or is it supposed to sound raw and gritty?
Precisely. They're also listening to things like dynamic range.
Which is just the difference between the loudest parts and the quietest parts, right?
Yeah. Has the music been crushed so everything is loud, or is it allowed to breathe? It's a subtle thing, but it's important.
It's not just about what instruments are there, but how they all fit together in the space.
You've got it. They're looking at the instrument balance. Can you hear the bass clearly? Does the vocal sit nicely in the mix?
And they're using specific terms for this, like tempo and rhythm.
Right. And they're analyzing key changes, harmonies, all the little things that create the song's emotional feel.
And a lot of that comes down to the producer, who a lot of us probably don't even think about.
The producer's role is just as important as the songwriter's, often. A good critic understands that. They also look at the album as a whole.
The track order, the flow. Does it tell a story, or is it just a collection of singles?
You're getting it. All of those are deliberate artistic choices.
So once they've done that technical audit, then they get to the lyrics, the message.
Which is often where the real emotional connection is. They're looking for clever metaphors, good storytelling, emotional honesty.
Do the words actually match the mood of the music?
Yes. Or, sometimes even more interesting, is when they create a surprising contrast. A great lyric can make a really simple melody feel so much more powerful.
And that's why they quote specific lines in their reviews, right?
Yeah.
To show you the proof.
It's their evidence. A good critic is building an argument, and they use the lyrics to support it. They have to judge the work on its own terms.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's this idea called the intentional fallacy. It means the critic's job is to review the song you actually hear, not the song the artist intended to make.
Ah, so if the artist says it's a protest anthem, but it just sounds lazy, the critic has to call that out.
They have to. The final effect on you, the listener, is what really matters.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. They don't use the same checklist for every single genre.
Oh, absolutely not. The standards have to change.
So for rock music, you're looking for what?
Things like energy, power, authenticity. Do they sound like they really mean it?
But you wouldn't judge an electronic track on its authenticity in the same way.
Exactly. For electronic music, it's more about the sound design, the textures, the layers, how effective is the beat for dancing.
And hip-hop.
With hip-hop, the focus is often on the rapper's flow, the complexity of the rhymes, and the cultural references they're packing in.
Well, for pop music, it's basically, is it a hit?
Pretty much. Is the hook catchy? Is it going to sound good on the radio? It's a totally different goal than, say, classical or jazz, which require a much more formal, theoretical analysis.
And this is all just for a recording. Reviewing a live concert is a completely different skill.
A totally different beast. You're moving from a fixed piece of art to a one-time performance.
So you're looking at the stage design, the lights, the costumes.
All of it. And crucially, how well does the artist pull off their recorded songs live without all the studio magic?
And the crowd is a huge part of it, too.
Definitely. Did the artist connect with the audience? And what about the venue's sound? A great performance can be totally ruined by bad acoustics.
Let's talk about influence. Because critics aren't just giving opinions, they actually shape the industry.
They have a ton of power. A really good review from a major critic can get a new band a record deal. It can get them on the radio.
Record labels must love quoting those good reviews in their ads.
Oh, they do. They use those quotes as a key part of their marketing. In that way, critics really do act as gatekeepers.
But they don't always get it right, do they?
Not at all, and that's the interesting part. There are so many classic albums that were hated by critics when they first came out.
Like what?
The first Velvet Underground album is a famous example. Panned at the time, now considered one of the most important albums ever made. It shows that critical opinion can and does change over time.
Okay, so how does all this work today? The internet completely blew up the old model.
It shattered it. I mean, you used to wait a whole month for a magazine to come out to read a review.
And now, a review is up hours, sometimes minutes after a surprise album drops.
And it's not just the pros anymore. Professional critics are now competing with fan reviewers on YouTube who have massive audiences.
That's that democratization of criticism idea.
It is. And those fan reviewers can be just as influential, sometimes even more, because they feel more relatable.
Plus, we can now listen to the album on a streaming service while we read the review.
Which changes the whole experience. You can check their work in real time.
Let's talk about rating systems. The stars out of 5, the score out of 10. Why do so many places still use them?
It's basically a shortcut. With so much new music, it helps people filter everything quickly. And for the artist, a high score can mean more sales, better tour bookings.
But a lot of critics seem to hate them.
They really do. They'll argue that you can't boil down a complex piece of art to a single number.
That the actual text of the review is what matters.
Exactly. The score is for marketing, but the prose is where you find the real insight.
And with all this influence, we have to talk about ethics. Integrity.
It's absolutely essential. A professional critic has to avoid any conflicts of interest.
So no accepting expensive gifts from record labels that might make you feel like you owe them a good review.
Right. And you have to be objective, even if you personally don't like the genre. The goal is to judge the work on its own terms, against the standards of that genre.
Because if the audience stops trusting you, you've got nothing.
Your credibility is everything. If you lose that trust, your influence is gone.
So looking ahead, where does this all go? Does the line between the pro critic and the fan reviewer just disappear?
I think it will continue to blur, yeah. We'll probably see more AI and data analysis helping us sort through music, too.
But that can't replace the human element, can it?
Never, because music is an emotional experience. You'll always need a person to articulate why a song matters, how it makes you feel, and what it says about our culture.
That core mission is still the same, helping people find music that really moves them.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
We've seen that music criticism is this really complex job, balancing technical analysis with cultural context and emotional honesty.
And understanding how it all works can make you a better, more thoughtful listener.
So next time you read a 5-star review, ask yourself, is the critic just arguing that the music is good, or are they arguing that it's important?
That's a great distinction to make.
See you next time.